been played and someone's just been crowned World Cup champions, it's not good enough. It's quite embarrassing, to be honest, because that's Paredes there. He doesn't need to do that. He's better than that, you know. And he doesn't stop there. He keeps going and going and going. And we all know what it's like to lose a game. We can be very frustrated. We understand that. But this is not good enough. It's not a good look at all.
That's a reaction to them being outplayed, outthought on the football pitch, and then the result of that at the end. So it's sad, it's poor from the Argentine team players.
Huge frustration spilling over. But for Spain, let's focus on the positive, because an incredible tournament. To concede one goal through a whole tournament has been a marvellous defensive display from them, but also in attack, and the possession-based football they play is so attractive.
The lesson in football that they've taught the world at this World Cup is absolutely phenomenal. Never rattled, never under pressure. That was as much as it got after the final whistle, after they got the World Cup, because they haven't nibbled once. They've kept playing beautiful football the whole entire time, and they've fully, like I say, fully deserved this with a great team effort.
Luis de la Fuente has now won the Euros and the World Cup with this side. He's actually taken quite a few of this side through the age groups, under 19, under 21. He's a career international manager, and he's created some things very, very special.
He has, and a lot of these Spanish players have grew up and come through the system together. So to be able to enjoy these moments, the European Championships 2 years ago, now the World Cup, we've seen it at the end there with Yamal and Williams sat on the pitch. They're lying there taking it in. You know, just look and think, like, what has happened? They've won both the Euros and the World Cup. Yamal at 19. So these are just special moments and memories which these players will take with them forever.
They're singing Viva España just in front of us here. I thought it was only us who sang that. I didn't realise Spaniards actually sang it. But the scenes below us, the Spanish fans, they've had to be very patient, haven't they, through this match?
They have, and they've been massively outnumbered here today, but they showed their support for their team. And just to touch on Lamine Yamal at 19 years old, we looked at him before the game, 5 chains on hat, and his confidence, the way that he's doing this world, everyone will be trying to get on his back, everyone will be trying to hate on him, but he's sat there with a European medal and a World Cup. What a beautiful, beautiful day for that young man. I'm so pleased for him. 19 years old.
He was 19 just a week ago, and he burst to life for us, didn't he, at the Euros?
Not burst into life, he burst on the seat gaps.
Well, we know he burst into life 19 years ago because we've seen him as a baby, of course, with Lionel Messi, and that handing over, if you like, of the baton. You know, we've seen Ronaldo depart potentially the international stage in this tournament. Who knows whether this will be the end for Messi, but when there is talent like Lamine Yamal, the game is in rude health.
We call him Lamine the Dream, don't we? And I mean, Mbappe's been sensational. we do. And Mbappe's been phenomenal at this tournament too. But in terms of winning the Euros and the World Cup at 19, and coming into the tournament with an injury, a hamstring injury as well, and just growing into the tournament, and it was difficult for him today. Tagliafico was really tight to him, and the thing I liked about him most, he didn't react, because he was trying to get into his head, and you know what the game could have been like if he would have reacted, try to get him sent off, and he was just so calm. For someone at 19 to show that composure and be that good on the ball, he's an absolute superstar.
Physically still growing as well. Not only did he not react, he stood up to it. He wasn't rattled, he didn't back down, he had the whole entire team trying to smash him. He just kept so cool, kept his head, kept trying to have those big moments. A real standout performance from him today.
But what about the Spanish team is Yamal has had a difficult tournament. He hasn't been, you know, at his best, what we've seen over the last couple of years. But then the subs which they've made, Moreno, Torres coming on today, winning goal, almost being an out the team. The manager deserves a lot of credit for what he's built at this team.
Yeah, and what he has built here is incredible team spirit. And a lot was made, actually, that there were no Real Madrid players in this team and in this squad when he selected the squad. Obviously there is now, because Cucurella has of course moved from Chelsea to Real Madrid. But there is clearly a plethora of stars, huge stars in this squad, but they work together.
Yeah, I think the squad's got a really good balance. It's got some experience, a lot of youth, but they've got players who've grown up through the system together. They know each other's game inside out, and that's shown. You know, the winners as well, they won the Euros 2 years ago. They've had a big advantage knowing how to win and make the competition, and I think that showed as well in the game today.
Well, you've been talking about Olmo all tournament, you've been talking about goalkeepers. Can we talk about Kubasi at the back?
Do you think he's a contender for the young player of the
100%.
tournament?
He's outstanding. When he plays in Barcelona, at times they play very high and it's difficult. He gets exposed in behind. But in this team, the leadership, the composure he shows, he stands up to everything. 19, conceded 1 goal in the whole competition. It's outrageous. You know, when I see these sort of players, for the future, like you said, Olmo's been excellent. Nico Williams coming on the left-hand side. Yamal, the future looks so great for Spain.
Shall we have a look then at the goal that has won Spain the World Cup? And while it will go down as obviously Ferran Torres' brilliant goal, Williams involved in terms of keeping the ball alive.
Yeah, it was, and this is from the kick-off of extra time. And then the ball goes back to Simon, and Argentina don't really rush to try and get any pressure on the ball. Obviously, they're down to 10 men. And then, yeah, Messi, obviously, they're playing a 4-4. Messi's not really helping out defensively. So then the ball goes forward. And then now, this is where they needed that little bit of luck and something to force them in the penalty box.
But that's the thing there, and this is what Joe was talking about a little bit earlier in the show. But what Argentina did, defended so well, and you see Simeone there with Torres when he comes onto the pitch. What the difference with Argentina? They were switched on. He switched off for a moment, and he gets punished. That is a different thing.
They've got the numbers. That's not down to a numerical disadvantage. That's down to Simeone switching off. Brilliant from Nico Williams, and that finish, Wayne, on the half volley, left foot.
It's incredible. It's a great knockback, but to finish it like that, have the composure at this stage of the game, to get the elevation just to get above the keeper, and the calmness, and to hit it with the side foot and just guide it into the roof of the net. It's such a great goal.
Fantastic finish from Ferran Torres. And Williams, again, another great talent who has had to kind of be patient in this tournament as well.
I think what's really good about it, and we'll show you disallowed goal now, but in terms of when they come on, the impact, you have Berner who plays a little bit different, but then the disallowed. When you come onto the pitch, you have to have impact, and whether that's running in behind, and then this, unfortunately, it was given. But if you look here, the reason why it was not given, it was there, it was foul, Marino stands on.
But is that enough?
Is
that enough for you?
It's not enough, but it was given, and the referee didn't blow the whistle before the ball went in the net as well, so it was always going to be difficult. But we don't want to see goals disallowed for that. It's too easy.
Spain can lose the World Cup because of that. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Get rid of VAR, get rid of all these bad decisions. I hate it.
But I think we've got to absolutely commend Spain's mentality, because all very well they play this pretty football, but they've been absolutely superb to not give up. They could have felt like the whole world was against them today. There was fouls, various fouls not given, goal not given. They must have thought this could actually go to penalties here, and the way Martinez was playing, but they kept the quality, kept the composure,
kept their cool against a team who stuck doggedly to their game plan as well, and trying to physically ruffle them up, trying to get into their heads, as any opposition is going to have to do. If you're going to beat that Argentina side, there is going to have to be a mental composure.
And it's a trust in his subs as well. Marino coming onto the pitch in the previous game, scored the winners, and he comes on and makes a difference. When you're talking about midfielders or false nines running into it, look at the timing of his run, and Way will know a bit better than me, but as a defender, it's just there. He should do a lot better. You talk about the header there.
But what he does, his run into the penalty box is not a big long run where the defender can see him. He gets in a position, then it's just a little 2-yard run, and normally you see him slot that away. It's a poor header, but really good movement to get on the end of it.
We see him do it time and time again, don't we, for Arsenal? But these all came after the red cards for an Enzo Fernandez. Let's have a little look at the second yellow, Joe, that obviously led to the red.
Yeah, first one's dissent. So obviously that's disappointing in the World Cup final. He feels aggrieved, straight up, arms thrown at the referee. For once he said, I'm not going to have that, and he picked up this yellow card, and the brakes had to come on here. He's so committed, and he's sent him for a cartwheel. I have no idea what his argument was that he hadn't made the foul there. He must have known that as soon as he doesn't get that ball, it's an absolute blatant yellow card, and that took forever to get cleared up, but the right decision was made. He had to go.
How big an impact did that have on the overall result?
Yeah, it had a lot, because what they could do, they could start getting runners. I mean, we saw that with the winning goal, but it was just, in terms of the way Argentina wanted to set up, you know Messi's going to be up front, but when you had an Alvarez or Martinez in previous, you all know he could go up there, but we can defend. That extra in terms of the timing you've got to run, it makes a difference. And especially when you go into extra time, the tiredness of the team, it was always going to have an impact.
No team had ever played in a World Cup final without a shot until the 17th minute. It actually took a lot longer for Argentina to get theirs on 117, but suddenly there was a flurry from them and a realisation that it was coming to an end and the chances came.
There was, and I think that coincides with Messi getting on the ball a little bit more. And then you knew it was going to come at some point, and this is great defending. You know, they're getting in down the sides, they were putting balls in the box, but this was actually a free kick they took quick, which I was thinking, what are they doing taking this quick? And then they get a really good opportunity from it. And then again here, he just leans back and gets it high over the crossbar. If he gets his body over the ball, he gets that down and gets the equaliser. But Spain deserved it, so I'm really pleased that Spain won in the end.
No, but can you talk about the spirit there? For Argentina still to be getting chances towards the end of the game with a man less as well, and they've just never beat. Yes, in terms of quality, and you know, the man on his screen deserved to win
There's
the World
such lovely
Cup.
scenes. Lamine Yamal is being kind of handed around to his teammates and hugged, and you can see just the absolute love and admiration they all have for him and how special he is.
I love to see that, and I love to see the joy in his face. He's still a young man at the end of the day, and they've allowed him to be young, they've allowed him to be free. He's completed football, he's only going to get better. It's absolutely brilliant to be here and witness this.
You talk about him completing football at 19, what about Rodri?
We talked about it before the game, didn't we? How much of an impact he has in this midfield, from winning the Euros to getting Ballon d'Or to winning the World Cup, to Champions League, but also having the knee injury and then coming back. We've had knee injuries before, it's very difficult to come back, and a lot of people had wrote him off. Pep said he's going to be back at his best at the World Cup. He was absolutely right, and he was the best midfielder in the tournament, hands down.
I think there was a few players from Spain who went a little bit not under the radar, but I thought Cucurella all tournament was outstanding. Goalkeeper was outstanding. Obviously Yamal was in and out of the tournament, I felt, and my man Olmo, I absolutely love him. I thought just both in possession, out of possession, he gives Spain something a little bit different. I think we knit it all together.
Well, we of course have all enjoyed seeing 66 World Cup first half, and you can see there that the story is really about the lack of Argentina attack, no shots and no touches in the opposition box. Will Spain be ruining the opportunities they've had going in goalless at half time because they were smothering Argentina?
No, I think they're just applying the right amount of pressure. I think Argentina found it very difficult, as I said before the game, to get near Spain. And I think where Argentina have let themselves down is when they've won the ball back. They've tried to slow the game down too much, and then they're not allowing themselves to get any momentum in the game, or they're just going long and giving it back to Spain. So the Argentina haven't quite got that balance right, but I think Spain will be really happy with how they've played. The next step is just trying to get that goal.
There is an element to that first half for those of us who were watching England the other night that we've seen this movie before.
Yeah, I think so, but Spain obviously were very composed in possession, building up, as Wayne said. I don't think they'll panic, even though they had those chances. Like the Mel chance was big. Argentina, they're just finding their way, putting some pressure on the referee. They're going to have their moments, no doubt about it, but like Wayne said, I think Spain will be really happy with that first half.
This is very reminiscent to the England game. England-Argentina, in that first half, that was very aggressive, sort of all going at the same time. They've been a little bit deeper today because Spain have forced them back. But it's been very interesting to see how the game's panning out. I feel as though they've been lucky at times, Argentina, with some of the fouls, which we'll look on a little bit later on. But Joe's very delighted. We get to start with Henry Martinez.
So we should, because it's an incredible save. I just touched on that Lamine Yamal chance that he had, Gabby. And it was a big moment in the game just as they took over. Olmo absolutely beautiful in possession here, and that Spanish play was absolutely fantastic.
No, this is great play by Olmo and Yamal. I think Olmo's caused them problems all day with his positioning, but I think it's a bit of luck. Joe thinks it's a great save.
Wayne, you're just a goalie basher. Look, as it gets that little touch here, watch him flick his left leg out and then get it under control. No doubt there's an element of luck in it because it's out of his control once the touch, but it's a really good save.
This is more route one for Spain.
Yeah, it is, no, but it's what you'd expect when there's tight areas. You need the ball to fall to your better players, and with a good connection, and it's a really good save by the keeper.
Good enough save to analyse at half-time, Wayne, that save? Spectacular enough to analyse at half-time, the second save?
No, but listen, there hasn't been too many clear-cut chances, so obviously you've got to give the goalkeepers a little bit of credit. I think he's done well, he held on to the ball, so that's certainly a better save than the first one.
Okay, let's have a look at Simon also getting in and saving or causing problems for Messi.
Well, excellent positional play. So when a young goalkeeper's involved in a dominant team, Simon, he's up, he's ready, ball gets turned over, and they're in big problems here. And Lionel Messi's got a really big choice to make. Unai Simon commits, Messi sees him out the corner of his eye and just pulls out, but I think he's got a real opportunity to go round him then. Heart was in the mouth, I'm going to be honest, when I saw Simon charging. Messi's good enough to go round him there, but he sees the big man coming and bails.
So brave to come out that far in a World Cup.
Well, it's such a huge part of his game. He's done it, he had, multiple times against France. He's such an organised, such a sharp goalkeeper, and when they've got so much possession, he needs to be switched on for the turnover.
Listen, I've said loads of positive things about Messi, but World Cup final, you're not going to have a lot of the ball. He has to put his body in. If he nicks the ball, it's a red card for Simon. He has to put his body in, he doesn't.